And I was actually the Minister for Culture when this great building was built. There was a lot of trouble and lots of discussions, but now we have this great building and everybody is actually satisfied with it. So thank you for the opportunity to speak today at the event for the Danish Energy Industry Federation. Let me start by underlining the great importance of your industry for the whole country. It gives me a possibility to address the Danish position as forerunners in this area and the great potential for green growth in both the Danish and the global economy. But as you all know, there is lots of challenges to be met if Denmark is to stay ahead of the game as a green growth nation. Export data from our host today shows that exports of energy technology has fallen in 2010. But before addressing this matter, let me take a broader view of the challenges ahead. The Danish economy has begun to restore itself after the economic crisis from the fall of 2008. We have had positive growth since mid-2009 and the GDP has grown 3.4% in the last year. But there are still challenges to meet in order to secure the future for the Danish welfare as we know it. Let me point out 3 challenges. We need a bigger supply of labor, we need to increase growth in productivity, and we need to sharpen up our competitiveness. Let me start with supply of labor. Today, actually only half the population in Denmark work. And in the coming years, this will drop even lower. Without reforms, the supply of labor will be declined by 50,000 people in 2020. In order to tackle this major challenge, the government has proposed a line of reforms in the 2020 reform package. And actually later on today we will negotiate it and I hope that we will have an agreement probably in a week from now. These reforms are necessary in order to limit public spending and to supply our businesses with the workforce they need. The workforce also needs to be more productive, which is the second challenge. The productivity growth rate has been falling since the 1990s. In order to change this, we have taken a number of initiatives. We have boosted investment in research and development by 30% since 2006. We have expanded access to venture capital by 10 billion Danish kroner through an agreement with a group of pension funds, and I just 2 weeks ago appointed the new board for that fund. And finally, we have made it easier to attract skilled foreign labor to Denmark by improving the tax regime. All this in order to secure a sufficient and effective workforce for Danish and foreign companies in Denmark. The third challenge we face is maintaining our competitiveness. Denmark is generally a very good place to do business, but it's also a very expensive one, not least because of our relatively high wages. But part of that explanation is also a lack of domestic competition. Too little competition is bad for business. Companies need to stay sharp if they want to be successfully engaged in the global markets. Therefore, the government has just announced its competition package with a range of initiatives to increase domestic competition, mainly within construction and retail, but also in relation to the energy sector. And let me just say that now is the time to find the solutions to the challenges of the future. And to me, one of the answers is to be found in the energy sector. Our vision for the future Danish society is not only a more wealthy, more competitive nation, it's also a green vision. Partly because it's necessary that energy supply and consumption of natural resources becomes more sustainable. And partly because resource efficiency is increasingly becoming the cost-effective way to do business. If we look at the Danish export of energy technology, this makes up about 10% of the total Danish export. It is a sector that has seen impressive growth rates the last decade. In 2010, the overall export was well above 50 billion Danish kroner, and our companies are dominating in several markets. And all through the figures for 2010 doesn't look as bright as we have all hoped for. I still believe that this sector will become even more important in the future. And that's why the government strives to set up the right framework conditions. In total, we invested 5.1 billion Danish kroner in programs to support green solutions in 2010. Through these programs, we make sure that good ideas find their way all the way to the market through research and development, demonstration, and market maturation. Through the Export Credit Agency and Invest in Denmark, we work on try to attract more foreign capital to Denmark and to help Danish enterprises to invest abroad. Just as we have improved access to risk capital in our country through the agreement with the pension funds. All this is very essential in relation to today's theme of smart cities, smart financing, where attracting capital is actually a key challenge. The overlying objective of our initiatives is to make more solutions viable on market terms and to make them as cost efficient as possible. This is necessary to maintain our competitiveness, not only in the green sector, but in all of the Danish economy. Just recently, we announced our Energy Strategy 2050, and it sets the overall goal for this work. Our aim is a country independent of fossil fuels by 2050. This strategy will make sure that Denmark stays ahead of the game when it comes to the transition towards a fossil independent strategy. There's 3 tracks in this strategy. Firstly, we implement what's necessary right now. That means investing in 1,500 megawatt wind energy capacity and supporting biogas production. Second, we prepare for the transitions to be made by slowly integrating new solutions. Third, and finally, we continue our efforts in research and development of the technologies of tomorrow. By making the transition in steps, we make sure to stay ahead of the game when it comes to developing and demonstrating the energy solutions of tomorrow. And we make sure to do it in the most economically efficient way. Doing so, we will also support the creation of real new jobs. How many is actually, of course, very hard to say, but the investment proposed within wind energy alone, we think will create about 10 to 15,000 new jobs. It's my belief that by making the transition in steps, it will be as smooth as possible for the Danish economy and provide our businesses with the best export platform. So let me end these remarks by saying that we only move forward if we work side by side. As politicians, we can only build the framework for green growth, and it's actually your companies who have to fill it in. Therefore, it is important that we all share this ambition, that we all agree on the roadmap, and that we all shoot for the same goals. Let me finish by quoting the American journalist, writer, Thomas Friedman. He said, every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up knowing that it must run faster than the lion or it will be eaten. And every morning a lion wakes up knowing that it must outrun a gazelle or it will starve to death. The point from Friedman is that it doesn't matter whether you are a lion or a gazelle, when the sun comes up, you better start running. And the same is the case for the companies within the green economy. We have really strong forerunners in the green economy sector in Denmark. Some of the companies are represented here today, not just on the front row, but also among all of you. And when I visit the BRIC countries and other very fast developing countries, all of them are looking into the green economy. In Denmark, we close ourselves under umbrella and think, green economy. That's the solution. And it is the solution also for the Danish economy. But all kinds of other countries are also looking into solutions in green economy. So we have to be forerunners, be sharp, be fast, be strong. And we will, from the state, from the government, provide the right frameworks for that. And then you have to do the job to fill it out. Whether you are in the front or trying to catch up, we all have to move fast to be successful. Thank you for the attention, and I hope that you will have a good day here at this great place. Thank you.